2-year-old girl lost her life when the house collapsed and was seriously injured. The mother, heartbroken, held her daughter in her arms. In this uninhabited desert, no doctor, no hospital, she didn't know how to save her daughter. What should a mother do when her daughter is injured? This is life in Iran, a nomadic family in the mountains. Kaya and her husband. Here, there are also 2 little daughters leaning on each other. Because the land here is relatively barren, family life here is very difficult. I think it's time to cook. The husband then goes to gather dry firewood. After her husband leaves, Kaya also goes out to fetch water. The eldest daughter goes to rest in the room alone. Everywhere is pebbles and dry soil. Looking for water every time she goes out, Kaya takes a lot of time. Because the 2 children were already quite clever, they felt more at ease leaving the 2 of them behind when they went out. The sensitive younger daughter wanted to share the household chores, so I followed in my parents' footsteps and picked up scraps of firewood from the ground. Being a nomad in Iran, they've lived in the mountainous region for generations. Very few children have the opportunity for education. They grow up almost entirely, always alongside their parents. After a while, Kaya finally got water. But just then, an accident occurred. I saw my little daughter from afar, running and crying. Seeing my daughter cry, Kaya comforted her, then hurriedly asked what happened. It turns out, our house had collapsed. While ripe, my older sister was deep in slumber, buried beneath the rubble. At this moment, Kaya was deeply worried. She had never thought that in such a short time, such an event would occur in their home. 41. Kaya and her daughter rushed back home as fast as they could. Upon arriving home, I saw that my roof had collapsed. There was no doubt anymore. Her daughter must be buried beneath. As Kaya entered the room, he quickly removed the rocks from his daughter's body. It was evident the girl was severely injured at this point. He had no way of knowing if she was still alive or already gone. Kaya, worried, continued to cry. At this moment, he felt deep regret for leaving his daughter behind. If only he hadn't gone out just now, his daughter would be by his side. Perhaps such a tragedy wouldn't have occurred. Kaya held her daughter close and kept calling her husband repeatedly. Faced with such a situation, he didn't know what to do. Here, there were no doctors or hospitals. It could be life-threatening. Kaya and her little daughter were submerged in sorrow. Seeing her husband still not return, the little daughter ran outside. She began searching for her father. Time was of the essence. Kaya knew she couldn't wait any longer. So, he quickly embraced his daughter. He rushed outside to seek help. And after a while, the little daughter and her father hurried back from outside. Learning about the accident that happened to my daughter, my father was also in immense pain. He knew he couldn't stay here any longer. So, he quickly began to gather his belongings. At this moment, Then, he carried his daughter on his back and walked further. Because there was a car passing by a few miles away, perhaps you could get help by running there. The man carried his daughter, heavily burdened. Walking on the road wasn't easy. Kaya was exhausted, having not gone far. But now, he knew he couldn't stop and rest. A minute's delay could mean missing the best chance to save his daughter. This was the greatest display of maternal love from the great mother. However, it was due to this enduring perseverance that Kaya finally arrived, carrying his daughter on his back, seeking help miles away on the road. Anxious, Kaya stopped by the roadside. But before the strangers, he pleaded for help. Many drivers paid no attention, until the owner of the white car from behind approached. Kaya successfully halted them. He explained to the driver that his daughter had been in an accident, and implored them to take them to the hospital. The driver promptly obliged, heading for the nearest hospital. Luckily, the daughter's life wasn't in immediate danger. After bringing my daughter to the hospital, Kaya bought some daily necessities from the store. Then he returned, and next, the family was struggling with the high medical costs and building a new house. They also faced serious challenges.